dealing with hair loss, maybe you've just been diagnosed, maybe you need a reset, maybe you just want to keep the momentum going. Today, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite, most practical tips that you can use to help you on your 2025 hair journey. Hi, my name is Lynn. So, welcome back to my channel. So, Nourish Your Crown, where if you're new here, we're a channel that provides resources, information, and support for women dealing with hair loss. I'm in a scarf today because it's been a week. Go birds. And heavy week at work. I need to wash. And so we're scarfing it up today. So, anyway, today I'm so excited to share some of these tips with you just to help you on your journey. We're in February now, so we are just ready to move forward with the things that we committed to. And so these are just some ideas to help you along the way. Be sure to watch the whole video, hit that like and subscribe channel and the notification bell to make sure that you're notified when new videos go up. So let's get started. So the first tip is to get grateful. And you might be thinking, why gratitude? So in a world where so much is out of our control, God has given us a couple of tools that we can use on a daily basis to help us along the way, and gratitude is one of them. So, one of the things that I've been learning a lot is sort of the science around gratitude and how our bodies are made. And so, it's pretty phenomenal. So, let's learn a little bit. So, according to research, anxiety and gratitude cannot coexist at the same time in our brains. And I'll link to the articles below. And so, what does that mean? That means that our brain cannot actively focus on the both positive and negative emotions simultaneously, meaning that when you're feeling grateful, you cannot fully experience anxiety and vice versa. Let's talk about the ways that gratitude affects our brain. So, one, gratitude literally releases toxic emotions. The limbic system is part of the brain that is responsible for all of our emotional experiences. And so, a study conducted on individuals seeking mental health guidance revealed that participants of the group who wrote letters of gratitude, in addition to their counseling sessions, felt better and recovered sooner compared to the other group who wrote in their journal about their negative experiences instead of writing gratitude letters. And so that's one way that we know that that science is starting to reveal how gratitude can support. Another way that gratitude is helpful is that it can reduce pain. So in an article talking about counting blessings versus burdens, there was a study conducted on evaluating the effect of gratitude on physical well-being, and it indicated that 16% of the patients who kept a gratitude journal reported reduced pain symptoms, right? And so a deeper dig into the cause unleashed that by regulating the level of dopamine, gratitude fills us literally with more vitality, thereby reducing subjective feelings of pain. And so, again, if you see me look down, you know I have notes. That's what we do here. So I take notes, I read the notes sometimes. So just know that. Another reason why gratitude is helpful is that gratitude actually improves sleep quality. Now, especially for those of us who have been in perimenopause or are in menopause, one of the things that we love and need is sleep. And who couldn't use more sleep? So, studies have shown that receiving and displaying simple acts of kindness activates the hypothalamus, and that actually regulates all of the mechanisms controlled by the hypothalamus. And one of those is sleep. Another thing that they learned is that a brain filled with gratitude and kindness is more likely to sleep better and wake up feeling refreshed and energetic every morning. And another way that gratitude can support us is that it aids in stress regulation. In one study, they found that gratitude and appreciation for the participants who felt grateful, they actually showed a marked reduction in the level of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And we have heard in many of our videos from many of our experts around the impact of cortisol and stress for those women or people dealing with hair loss. And so the people who expressed gratitude had better cardiac functioning and were more resilient to emotional experiences. And then something as simple as merely acknowledging and appreciating the little things in life, the small little things in life, we can rewire the brain and deal with present circumstances with more awareness and a broader perception. And so I would love to hear, do you have a gratitude journal? How do you embrace gratitude on your journey. One of the things that I love to do, actually, in my journal, this is the journal that I'll link to it, but it's a journal that I created. And I have a space in there where it gives you at least every day. You can write three things. You can obviously write more, but there's a space in the journal specifically where you can write, what are you grateful for? And sometimes my gratitude can be something as big as something spiritual, or it might be something as small as, I am having a great cup of coffee today and I am so grateful for that, right? Small things. It could be because, grateful for my family or my friends, or just small things to begin to acknowledge how much we actually have to be thankful for. So gratitude is number one. So the second thing we want to do to support our journey is, if you haven't already done so, please get a formal diagnosis. And I know there's a lot of talk about getting a medical care. And I also completely understand the difficulty in finding a professional, whether you're in the United States or abroad. The reality is, it is tough to find someone, but I'm going to recommend that as best you can, right? You can't do what's not available to you. So as best you can to get that diagnosis. And then for those of us who haven't who've received a diagnosis, as I did a couple of years back, I am well overdue for a follow-up appointment. Now, mind you, I haven't had any major episodes. And so I think in my mind, I thought, well, do I really need to go back? But even listening to some of the interviews, some of the physicians that I've interviewed, like it's probably a good idea for me to get back in and get a follow up appointment just to stay on track with those, and to have someone actually take a look at my scalp. Also, I'm really interested, y'all. Think I want to try to get some type of braids, or not tight, but I'm interested in that. So before I do any of that, I definitely need to make sure that I get a scalp evaluation so that I don't cause more harm. Um, by getting some braids. Anyway, the next step is get a diagnosis or have that follow up appointment. And let's do the things that we know to do. Let's take action. Let's show up for ourselves, whatever that is. Maybe it's whatever it is that you decide that, okay, this is the next thing that I'm going to do. Let's make a commitment to ourselves daily that we are going to show up for ourselves on this journey. So the next group, so there's two resources. One is the Black Derm Directory. And so they actually have a directory of dermatologists who specialize in hair loss. So I'm going to link that in the description box. So check them out. The other group that you can, if you don't have a dermatologist and you're looking for one, is the National Scarring Alopecia Foundation. They have a physician referral list, and I will link that as well. So you can go in there and put in your location, and it will identify the physicians that are in the area with you. Another thing that Dr. Lindsay shared that as a way to, I think it's important for us to think about is, if you, maybe there's not anyone local to you, but you can have a virtual appointment with one doctor and then have your local doctor do the continued treatment or the continued assessment and evaluation. That's a possibility as well. And there are some doctors who are doing virtual appointments. So just be mindful of the resources that are available for you and take advantage of them as you can. The Association of Professional Trichologists. So we had Dr. Crystal on last year. She is a board certified research scientist, and she is one of the co-founders of this organization. She's also on the executive board, and trichology is the study of hair and scalp. And so, trichologists are specialists who focus on identifying and managing hair and scalp conditions. And so, this association is designed for individuals who are trichologists, but they also have an amazing resource of education and then also finding a professional. So if you are looking for a hair loss practitioner, you can go in and use this site. I will link it in the description box. You can search by country. You can see here they have trichologists in the United States, Australia, Canada. It looks like France and Great Britain. They're across various states in the United States. What it gives you also is the business name, their address, their location, the education level of the professional, their trichology education level, and then their specialties, and if they have another specialty. So this person right here is actually a physician. And so this resource is a phenomenal new tool, fairly new tool for patients. And so I'm going to link it in the description box and encourage you to use it as you see fit. And definitely let us know if you connect or work with any of the trichologists because I would love to hear your experience. I'm sure all of us here would love to hear your experience. So, this is another tip for you. So, the third tip is to get the most bang for your buck. And what do I mean by that? And so, if you are in the United States, they have these supplemental benefits called flexible spending accounts or health savings accounts. And with those accounts, if you don't already know, you can use those resources to help cover some supplements. So, for example, Nutrafol is covered by flexible spending dollars. So you could use your flexible spending account to get the Nutrafol. The same thing is true for, I found this amazing site called Apothecary. Now, they are not a hair loss site specifically, but they provide supplements for a lot of different areas like sleep, digestion, metabolic, and they use a plant based approach to a lot of health issues. And so, you can use your flexible spending dollars at this type of site. And I definitely used it last year, and I'm going to use it again this year. And so, another way to get the most bang for your buck is as we think about wellness and overall well being. Take advantage of if you have insurance through the United States healthcare system or through your employer, many of these insurance companies offer supplemental wellness programs. Like you can get a nutritionist oftentimes with no copay. You can get a dietitian with no copay. You can join the Y for reduced cost. Some of them have health programs if you're trying to make sure that you're not quite pre-diabetic, you don't want to be diabetic. They have some programs in place that you can tap into. So really looking at the resources that are literally in your hand, you have some. This may not be the thing for you, but I pray that you would see like what is in your hand. There's something in your hand that's available to you to help you on your hair journey. I fully believe that. So let's ask for eyes to see, right? What resources might be available for us. So the fourth tip is to get in community. So I remember this was maybe 3, 4 years ago when I was just getting diagnosed and getting started. And I do remember feeling incredibly alone, like feeling like, why is this happening to me? I don't see anybody else dealing with this. I don't know how to navigate this space. I don't see anyone who has sort of, because I have short hair, I've had short hair for a while, and I don't see anyone who looks like me or who's, overcome it or even something to share. And so getting in community, I think, is so incredibly helpful on this journey. I hope that this YouTube channel does serve as sort of a form of community. Um, Leave a comment. If you're watching a video, I try to respond to every comment or at least hit a heart. I try to like or respond to every comment because what you share is important to me and it's important to us. And so this is one way that you can connect is that that there are like 16,000 women across the country, actually across the world, because we have viewers from all over the world who are in this space and in this journey with you. You are not alone. There's also a CCCA Facebook group. So if you're dealing with CCCA hair loss, there is a group I'll link in the description box that they are an amazing group of women, all dealing with various levels of symptoms, various levels of stages, but all there to encourage and support one another. So I definitely recommend connecting there. Another really interesting resource that I'm actually is on my list to do this year to be more engaged with is the Scarring Alopecia Foundation. They actually have a monthly webinar where they talk about different topics related to hair loss. And so they have a monthly CCCA Facebook group where they talk about all of the things that we are dealing with. And they have either a facilitator or an expert there that goes deep into specific topics. And again, they meet monthly. So I hope you go over there and number one, join the foundation because it's free. You literally just log in and submit your information and you can become a member. But then also, I would love to see you in some of those community groups or that monthly webinar because I'm definitely going to be in there as well. And then also, they do have a conference coming up in April. So you may want to check that out as well. So get in community. You are not alone. You are not alone. And so a couple of other resources that might be helpful are the National Alopecia Foundation. I'll link to them as well. And then there's also the Alopecia UK, which is a UK based charity organization that helps individuals dealing with hair loss. And then there's also the Canadian or Canada Alopecia Foundation. And the one thing that I'll say too is I think about this, like, even if you go there and there are people who you think, well, there's nobody really there that has my type of hair loss or is dealing with the things that I'm dealing with or is in the community that I normally associate with. Maybe you're the person to help lead the charge in that space, right? Even if it's just bringing people together, being a safe place to bring people together. None of us we are not the experts. I am not an expert. I'm a patient that's here to just bring people together around resources and encouragement. Maybe there is a place for you to do that as well, whether it's in one of these organizations, whether it's in your community. Maybe you are the next person. Maybe it's on YouTube. Maybe you can share and you can bring people together to encourage them as well. So there's that. And tip number 5, I want to say this is like one of my favorite ones. And I say this is because we all know, if we don't know, many of us dealing with hair loss, a common denominator in many types of hair loss is excess inflammation. That excess inflammation on the scalp, but also excess inflammation in the body. And so we've had numerous guests on here, from dermatologists to scientists to researchers, who say navigating and reducing excess inflammation in the body is always going to be an ideal way to go. But for many of us, sometimes we're wondering, well, how do I know if I have excess inflammation? Excess inflammation. Number one, you can go talk with your doctor and they can do a test to help you tell you if you have excess inflammation. Many of us already know, because of the varying symptoms, that there's excess inflammation. And so we also know that nutrition can what we eat can make it worse, and what we eat can make it better. This tool is designed to help you gauge if you are moving your body into a anti-inflammatory state or into an excess inflammatory state based upon the food and the supplements that you eat. And it's free. But this tool you can use to determine your relative degree of inflammation based upon your nutritional choices for one day or the past 24 hours. You can take this quiz as often as you like. I have actually been using it, not in the last couple of days because I've been sick, but I've been using it almost daily for the last 2 weeks or so. And it is a game changer in helping to understand what we can do to help decrease inflammation in the body. So let's just get started. First, it's going to ask you, how much alcohol did you consume? So I'm going to put all of the choices in that, I'm just going to try to randomly include these choices, right? So no alcohol. Then I'm going to say, how much fruit did you have? Let's say I had a banana and berries in my smoothie. How many servings of whole grains did you have in the last 24 hours? So I'm going to do none, just because it's not something that I normally eat. And then how many servings of leafy veggies did you have in the last 24 hours? Let's say I had 2 cups of salad. And then how many servings of beans did you have in the last 24 hours? Let's just say 1 serving. And then we're going to say, how many servings of seafood did you have? So we're going to go with 1 serving because we had some salmon. And then let's think about the veggies. So how many servings of veggies did we have? We're going to say we had more than 1 serving of veggies. And then how many servings of nuts and seeds did you have? And so I had a snack. So I'm going to put 1 serving there. And then how much fiber did you consume? And so because I am taking a fiber supplement and having more veggies, I'm going to go with 25 to 35. And then how much omega-3? And this could be whether it's salmon or if you're taking a supplement. So I'm going to go with 1 serving. And then we're going to say, or it's going to say, did you have green or black tea? I have at least 1 cup of green tea per day. So we're going to say green. And then how much olive oil? I definitely cooked with it. So I'm going to say 1 olive oil. And then how many fruits and veggies in terms of colors did you have today? So I already said we had some different fruits and vegetables. So we're going to go with 2 or more colors. And then did you use any garlic, ginger, or fresh herbs or turmeric? I take that turmeric daily, so I actually use this, count this as taking it daily. And then also, did I have an avocado? So I did have an avocado on my salad, half, so I'm going to go with half. And then we're going to say, did you use any fermented products? No. And then how many grams of added sugar? We're going to go with less than 25 because you do have to track that. And then how many servings of refined grains did you consume? We're going to go with no because I did not have any white rice. And how many servings of red meat did you consume? And we're going to go with none because I didn't have any red meat. And then how much artificial sweetener? None because I don't use that. And then how much trans fat? I did not eat out. I did not eat any partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, so we're going to say no. And then how many sweetened beverage did you consume? And everything that I did was or drank was unsweetened today, so we're going to say no. And then how much processed meat? I did not have any lunch meat, bacon, or hot dogs. We're going to go with no. And then how much fried food? Everything was baked, so we're going to go with no. And junk food, no chips or snacks, we're going to go with no. And so, and the last one, I think this is the last one. How many omega-6 vegetables? I did not use sunflower, corn oil, or sunbeam oil, so we're going to go with no. And I didn't have any additives, colors, or chemicals. And so then it'll tell you your score. And so this is saying that you're doing great with your anti-inflammatory nutritional choices. You can take this every day. It tells you based upon what you've eaten. And as you can tell, based upon the questions, it's going to give you daily insight on what you're eating or not eating that's going to increase or decrease inflammation in your body. I love this tool. Definitely go ahead and get it. It's free. We'll link it in the description box. So our bonus tip is look, hair loss is not our identity. It doesn't define who we are. It doesn't define our beauty, right? And so as we keep that in mind, let's remember to, again, nourish our crowns from the inside out, but then also go grab some joy, right? So there's a lot going on, probably not just in our world, maybe in our homes, with our work. There's just a lot going on. But I encourage you today to take some time to rest. And I'm going to speak, I'm speaking really specifically to the person who is doing all the things because you feel like you have to do all the things. And I'm speaking to you as I speak to me, especially for the person who maybe you're at work, you're working, you have a lot going on. You have a lot of time that you haven't taken. Take some time. Take the break, take the afternoon off, take the day off, go on a date, with God, go on a date and do something fun. Just have some time to enjoy, to create, to slow down, to catch your breath because you deserve it. And as always, remember to live well, live blessed, nourish your crown, and I'll see you in the next video.